Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening, everyone, and happy Monday. Welcome to the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, where connections matter. This is episode 52. So, welcome, everyone. Thank you for those who are joining us live on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on our Facebook business page, the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I need to ask a favor. If you're watching us live, please like and share this broadcast with your friends, family, associates. We have a great guest every week. We're bringing you interviews of difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship and community involvement. We got a special topic tonight. So we have a special topic. Before we go into our guest and our topic for tonight, just a few quick announcements. Um, for those who may not be aware, the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, we are giving back to our community, specifically neighborhood I grew up in on 7 Mile Lasher area. Um, we've adopted a first grade class. Mrs. Karsh's class, first grade class, is in need of school supplies. And for the month of October, we're doing a school supply drive for this class. So there's a need of 2 pocket folders, um, laminated pouches, crayons, pencils, glue sticks, construction paper, things like that. The drop off is at Demi's Restaurant, located on 7 Mile and Telegraph, right down the street from that neighborhood, about a mile down. So you can drop off those items. There's um, a drop off basket right at the front. As soon as you walk into the restaurant, there's a drop off basket. You can drop off those supplies there. And while you're there, you can support a local restaurant in Detroit. I'll be there tomorrow for their Taco Tuesday. So you can check out the Taco Tuesday. They do Monday Night Football, great menu. But definitely, I just want to encourage you just to support our school supply drive, helping to support a local school, first grade class. And also, save the date, save the date. Um, October 30th. That's a Sunday between 2 and 4. We're going to be at Marygrove College. I'm going to have a live podcast. Also, this is a chance for you to network. So I'm calling all business owners, new business owners, freelancers, entrepreneurs, and community leaders. Come network with us. There'll be a time for interaction. You can share about what you're doing. And we're going to do a live podcast interview with a special guest, Andrea Thompson, who is a certified financial educator, and she's going to talk about how you can build your business credit, how you leverage your personal credit to build business credit. She teaches her students how to do that from zero to $50,000, and that's money you can use uh, to use in your business, whatever kind of business, whether it's in real estate or you're making T-shirts or selling products or doing an online business, such as myself. So she's going to do that. So you can search this on Eventbrite. It's called the Fall Network Business Networking Meetup, sponsored by Empowered You Ventures. So you can search that, or you can go to my Facebook page, Detroit Metro Plug Podcast, and there's information there. You can click on the link for Eventbrite. It's only $10. That basically covers the food and refreshments. So, and just a way for you to commit to be a part of that. So I encourage you to be a part about that. I encourage you to get involved with that. All right. All right. So now I'm excited because we have a very special guest that I'm going to introduce. Um, did you know that the sneaker exchange business in 2019, according to Forbes and Entrepreneur.com, they say that the sneaker exchange business is roughly the revenue from that business generates over $6 billion. $6 billion with a B, 6 billion. And they're projecting in 2020, 21, even now that industry experts are saying could grow up to $79 billion. I didn't know that sneakers had that type of generate that kind of money and people exchange like that. So I know that people hold on to their shoes and exchange, but I didn't realize how how big that business and that industry is. So we're lucky tonight because we have a very special guest. Um, so I'm going to show our next guest has a store located in Detroit, Michigan, on the Avenue of Fashion. I'm going to show a video clip, and I'm going to do a little introduction, and we're going to get a chance to interact and have a good conversation with our guests. So here, check out this video clip, and then we're going to bring our guests on.
It's Freddie P. Checking in at Fahrenheit 313, Detroit's hottest sneaker exchange. And we outside, man. We just about to take a tour of the store and let y'all know what's going down on the Avenue of Fashion. Let's go. Once again, Fahrenheit is Detroit's hottest sneaker exchange. In the store, you can buy, sell, or trade kicks, pre-owned or new. So you come into the store, every shoe is tagged at the bottom. You see a white tag, that means the shoe is brand new. You see a yellow tag, is pre-owned but still good condition. And the sizes you see out here is what we have in stock. Once again, we buy, sell, trade. So bring some of those old pairs up here. You either get cash or store credit. Trade for what we have in our inventory as well. That shiny dot over there. Yeah, so that's what it is. Fahrenheit 313. Buy, sell, trade. You can consign as well. Set some shoes on the shelf. Set the price. You get 10%. We take 10%.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for episode 51, our next guest, or 52, I'm sorry, is a native Detroiter, a graduate of Renaissance High School, attended Western Michigan University. He is the founder and owner of a sneaker exchange shoe store located in Detroit, Michigan, on the west side on the Avenue of Fashion. It is called Fahrenheit 313, the hottest sneaker exchange store in Detroit. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome none other Fred Paul the third, no, the second, Fred Paul the second.
What's going on, Charles, my man? What's going on, everybody? Happy to be here.
Yes, I had to play a little bit of air horns. So we saw a little video about the store. So before we get into the questions, y'all always open up. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, east side, west side, anything you want to feel comfortable with. Then we'll go right into what you do with your the sneaker exchange business.
Okay, bet. Once again, my name is Frederick Paul II. People know me as Freddie P. I'm the owner, creator of Fahrenheit 313, Detroit's hottest sneaker exchange. Born and raised on the east side of Detroit. Been here my whole life. Went to Renaissance High School. Then I graduated there, went to Western, which is not even still, it's close to home, not too far away. Graduated from Western Michigan University, where the whole idea and concept for Fahrenheit 313 actually came to mind. So I brought that back home and worked really hard to get the business open and to get to this point today, which we'll talk about. So I'm just happy to be here. I've been knowing my man Charles for a while. 52 episodes is a big accomplishment. So I'm happy to be here and talk with everybody.
All right. So I appreciate you being part of this special episode 52 and just what you've your journey. So I'm a West Sider, so you're an East Sider, so we still good. We still good. Okay. So, and I know we were part of the retail boot camp with Tech Town, and that's kind of where you kind of sharpened up your business. I know you had it before when you came to Tech Town, but you didn't have a brick and mortar like you do now. So what I want to start with, just what was your journey to get into this business?
Yeah, so sneakers have been a part of my whole life, honestly. Growing up, my cousins, my dad, everyone was like into sneakers. My dad was more per se, like more of an MJ fan specifically. So, you know, he kept us in the latest Jordans before I even realized what they were, right? So my older sister was always into it and my older cousin. So growing up, I knew what, you know, the sneakers were. They were a big part of my family, but I just didn't personally have a big attachment until like 7th grade. I remember the specific pair of Jordan 13s that I got at that time. And it was just like, you know, it was over at that point. It was just like love at first sight. And then I just remember like being hooked. Like it was the hottest thing to talk about back in the day. There weren't too many websites and stuff like that's dedicated towards it now that it was back then. But we had probably one website that we would just be on in class all day, me and my friends, like 7th grade. And I remember just being hooked, like just being so intrigued by what was coming out next, which pair, what was the meaning behind it. So I think like at that time I started developing like some real friendships over sneakers as well. So fast forward through high school, I was rewarded with grades with sneakers. So my dad made a deal with me. I remember ninth grade. He's like, okay, if you could get like a 3.5, I'll get you a pair of shoes. Like, and then I was getting the grades because I wanted the shoes. So that was a good incentive, like throughout high school,
Okay.
to definitely keep my grades up. And then I had a huge collection at like 12th grade. I literally had probably 50, 60 pair of just like sneakers I had been collecting. Luckily, my shoe size didn't change too much throughout high school. So I was a big collector. I just kept most of my inventory, like literally saved it all. And then when I got to college, I was broke. So I decided to start selling some. And that's kind of how the idea was born.
Wow, wow. So this love of sneakers started when you were in elementary school, right?
Yep. Or middle
Is
school.
that where you got your first Michael Jordans, or when did you get those?
Man, so I literally have like my first baby picture I have on a pair of Jordans, like
Oh,
92.
okay.
Like I
All
literally
right.
had
Okay.
the newest pair of Jordans at that time. I could literally show my birth little picture or whatever. It's like in a full Bulls uniform with the Jordans on, like my first baby picture.
Wow.
So like so it's been, like I said, it's been a part of my family and my life literally since I was born, like
Oh,
before I
okay.
even realized what it was.
And so, like you said, your father absolutely he saw this as a way to kind of motivated you to do well in school and say, hey, if you keep a certain grade point average, you get sneakers. And so, so every card marking you had you would get a pair of new sneakers.
Yeah, and then like I think he kind of got into it. Like he saw that it was exciting to me, I think, and he kind of like got
Okay.
into it, you know. Like so, as I would keep up the grades, he just continued to buy them for me.
Okay.
Honestly, there would be moments. I think he was just such a huge MJ fan and everything as well that he was into it just as much as me. He didn't get them
Okay.
for himself, but he would be like. Before sometimes I knew I'll come home, he'll have the new pair. Like, you know, he was a hardworking entrepreneur as well. So I was
Okay.
blessed to
Okay.
have him and be able to, you know, get those. And that's what, you know, what I literally did good in school. And that's what I was rewarded with because I think he was into it just as much as me. And he saw how excited I got from getting the new pairs. And it was a big part of like my friendships at school and still to this day, literally.
Wow. Wow. So, in the intro, I talked about I did a little research and it was saying how big this industry is. Like I didn't realize that this was a $6 billion industry sneaker exchange. So I'm curious. You collected up to 50 shoes before when you got in college. What's the method of upkeep? Was you wearing them? Was they tucked in a box, or how does that work?
So literally, I wear all my sneakers. I'm not the type to have anything like brand new. If I got a new
Mhm.
pair, I wore it, which is crazy to some people. But a lot of my old pairs I played basketball in. You know, I literally just love. I'm like, people were like, "What were you thinking?" But I literally played basketball, and you know, it's just not even caring about. You know, honestly, at that moment, I had no idea about this huge resale market either
Right.
until I started to actually. So fast forward to like senior year in college.
Hmm.
Like I said, I was broke. I just needed a few extra dollars to, you know, help me maintain and everything. I'm trying to study abroad.
Right.
I'm trying to do so much this year. So I think my cousin once told me like, "Hey, have you heard of people selling shoes on eBay?" I'm like, this was like probably months before I ever tried it, but I remember him saying that. I'm just looking at all these shoes and I'm like just trying to figure out how to get some funds. I'm like, let me, it just sparked like, oh wait, let me try eBay. My cousin did say he tried it, and I just thought it was such a cumbersome process. I just was like, one day I just set aside the time to do it. So created a whole eBay profile, linked the PayPal.
Oh.
You know, I just started listing stuff, not thinking that it would actually sell or anything. These were, I didn't put my good stuff first, obviously, right?
Right.
So
Right. Right.
I
Right.
put these little beaters and stuff that I literally had worn down. The soles all worn down, like $60, $50. And like within the next day or so, they were gone. I'm like, okay, wait, I just sold a quick 4 pair. That's a quick
Right.
$200.
Right. Right.
Wait, hold up. You know, so I'm like, I started like getting really into it. I'm like, okay, so obviously there's a market for this. So
Yes.
I named my eBay page. At that time, it was called the Heat Factory. I'm like, okay, let's be creative. Let me name my page, and I got a lot of good stuff. So I'm getting followers on the eBay page or whatever it was, like on like people watching and liking my posts. Then, so I'm like, okay, every Wednesday I'm going to drop 5 pair. I just try to make it a
Wow.
thing,
Wow.
like to get the anticipation going, because I was literally taking marketing courses and things like that in my senior year, which I was really loving as well. So I was just
Right.
applying some of those principles to my eBay page, or like,
Yeah.
yeah, let me try to, create a little marketing and a little buzz behind this. And like every Wednesday or so, I'll put 5 more pairs up and they'll sell. I'll be running down the campus to the FedEx, shipping them off right from campus. And I'll be putting little cards in their boxes and stuff, just like unique little branded things. And I started to enjoy it. I'm like, this is fun. If I could sell these
Right.
shoes, and this was before StockX was even a thing, So I'm like,
Okay.
there's nowhere where you can do this right now. There's no website or anything I can go to like around this area and sell or trade my shoes. So instead of eBay taking this 30, 40% or whatever it was at that time, let me try to create a website for this and see what happens. I'm literally learning how to build websites in my marketing class. Let me just
Right.
create one for this. And that's
Okay.
literally where the idea was like sparked. I created this website. I listed all my shoes on there. But then there was no traction.
So that's interesting. So you had a need to raise money. You're a college student. You had some financial challenges, and you said, "Man, I think." And somebody mentioned, "Hey, people selling shoes on eBay," and you're like, "Man, I'm gonna sell some of my shoes on eBay," and that kind of started. That was the seed that started this business. It's funny you
Absolutely.
mentioned that. Uh, I had to do some research for a paper about the Airbnb company, and it started. It was these two guys that was in college, and they needed some money, and it was a conference coming to town in San Francisco, and they decided their apartment. I don't know if they was in college or they had an apartment. I think they were in college, and then they said, "Hey, a lot of the hotels was sold out or something," and they said, "Hey, we're gonna take guests and we're gonna rent out our apartment for that
uh,
conference week." And that's how they business got started.
Dang, that's
So
interesting.
like, yeah, so you had a need, you created a way to drive income, and then you said, man, this can grow. So StockX, is that a website for Sneaker Exchange now, or is that?
Yep. So it's headquartered based out of Detroit now.
Oh, okay,
Dan Gilbert is a big sponsor behind it. So they came about, 2015, 2016 or something
okay,
like that, I believe, where yeah, they're one of the, now they don't only sell sneakers, they're a marketplace for all kinds of things. So you can buy collectible toys on
oh,
StockX,
okay,
you can buy apparel, clothing.
okay,
So, but they do also, they're one of the largest marketplaces for sneakers. So they
okay.
only take brand new shoes on StockX. You have to, and there's
Oh,
no
the same.
physical location or store or anything,
Right.
but they're headquartered in Detroit. So if I was a seller, similar to eBay, kind of, but if I'm a seller, and buyers are on the site as well, so it's kind of like a stock exchange. If I'm looking for a pair, I list my bid, and someone's selling it that matches that,
Right.
then I have to ship the shoes, or
Okay.
so they're like the middleman for the transaction.
Okay. So let's go back to you. So you started with eBay, and they was taking a percentage, and then you tried to do your own website.
Yeah,
Uh,
it
so
didn't
what
work.
did you do? How did you pivot from that to get, because you're still doing it before you
Yeah.
got your store?
So no, good question. So I tried the website. I had like some heat on there, right? Like shoes you don't see every day.
Right. Hmm.
And I realized that there's no backing here. There's no sponsors, or it's like, so if it was like the legitimacy of it was questioned, I think, by people who were coming to the site, because it's like, what is this? I've never heard of this. And
Right.
there's a lot of scams and fake websites and things like that. So it's like,
Right.
I don't want to get scammed. These shoes, it's too good to be true. These shoes say are $100, and this is a Jordan Brand 11.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Right.
I think I was having issues with just people trusting the
Trusting.
legitimacy of the site. So I said, okay, at that moment, 2015, I'm like, okay, I need a storefront, because although I have the shoes and I have, all the
Right.
inventory and I can keep getting it, it's like people are not trusting it. So I need some way to establish credibility. And what would do that is a retail storefront. And
Okay.
then people would continue to shop online from there. So I set in my mind, or set a goal to try to do whatever I could at that time to get a storefront, which I had no idea. I don't have any cash. I don't come from a family with
Right. Right.
much at all. I'm a first generation college student. So I'm like, okay, I can't just go get a loan to do this. I'm going to have to figure out another way. But
Right.
If I start now, maybe in 5 to 10 years, I could have this store, you know, and I'm just like,
Right.
let me just start now. And I started to research programs and just things like that in the city to figure out what resources were out there.
Right.
Because when you don't have a lot of money, you got to use your resources to get things done. So in
Right.
order to get through
Exactly.
college, that's just one thing I learned. Like if you have a goal, you
Right.
have to find, you know, you have to overcome those obstacles, whatever that looks like. There's a way to overcome that challenge. So for me,
Right. Right.
it was a big financial burden opening the store. So I'm like, okay, let me try to get a grant or something like that. And I found some great programs like Motor City Match and Tech Town, which were the first two. And then like going through, you know, Motor City Match is a business incubator that helps you go from business plan all the way to getting funded for your venture. And Tech Town is an 8-week retail boot camp course to get you ready to open
Right.
that storefront. So I was accepted into Motor City Match in 2016 and like the Space Award. And I'm like, oh man, you know, someone believes in this just like me, you know, and that was like the first thing that kind of made it like, okay, maybe this is maybe this really can happen because I heard about Motor City Match, but are people really starting businesses through here? You know, I'm like, it sounds too good to be true, but I won the Space Award in 2016. I already had a business plan, so I just applied for the space and I won it. And that was like a big thing for me. I remember
Right.
like being so ecstatic, like, oh man, like, although that's not money or anything, it was just like, maybe there's a chance this can actually happen, you know?
Okay. Wow. Wow. So that's dope. So, so you saw that there was a need out there. You did the website on your own because of the, you know, some of the issues you had with eBay and taking most of the profit. But then you found that, you know, you had to find some type of legitimacy, and so that launched you to look to get a storefront.
Yeah.
And shout out to Tech Town and Motor City Match, great programs for people who are trying to launch their business and need resources, tech support, how to develop a business plan, how to have a marketing strategy, and they also provide resources to get you a retail space. So that is awesome. Um, so now you have your. Now, how many years have you been at your spot?
So now we're going on 3 years now. We
3
opened
years.
March
Okay.
13th of 2020.
Wow. Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I want to get into um, the sneaker exchange business. You don't mind? I want to ask some specific questions.
Yeah.
So you over time collected your inventory. So how do you collect your inventory now? Are you going certain websites? Are you standing in line? You know, when they about to release the Jordans, are you going to New York? What is your supply chain?
Yeah, so great question. So right now, like you said, the market. So I remember back when I was doing this, right? They were like, when I first started dreaming, they said like the sneaker market it may be a billion soon, right? Maybe $1 billion. That was like a huge thing. 2016 is like,
Right.
if it touches a billion, that's crazy. Now, like you said, it's at 6 billion or
Right.
plus now. So it was like right now there's 15, 16-year-old kids who have more inventory than I have at the store right now. You know, like they're young.
Whoa! How did they get all them shoes?
They have parents who can afford
Oh,
to, you know,
wow!
or yeah, no, seriously, or they've been like running their reselling businesses long enough where they're building, generating revenue. So it's a lot of young kids who are in the industry right now. You'd be so surprised
Wow!
by that. So yeah, so really the way it goes now is every other Saturday there's a new release. Every once a week, more
Now, you
twice a
say
week.
a new release of certain shoes, or what? What do you mean new release?
Air Jordans, Yeezy, Adidas. Something's coming out every weekend, whether
Every
it's a new
weekend. Okay.
Jordan, some type of shoe that people want every weekend. There's not a missed weekend where they're not releasing something. But the quantities are still limited. So, you know, supply and demand. If they only come out with a certain amount of pair, everyone's going to want it, then you don't get it. And now I want to try again the next week. So the demand is being created by these sneakers still being limited releases. Nike,
Okay.
they haven't, you know, going ahead and say we're just going to release enough for everyone or whatever. You know, they're still
Right.
limited. So it's kind of like people are standing in line. They're winning these shoes online. People who don't even want to intend to wear them at all, like some regular customers who may just be in a Foot Locker, may see a pair of shoes now and they'll buy it in hopes to resell it for a profit. So now
Okay.
it's not just the people who love the shoes, or it's everyday people who heard about the sneaker market and the resale business who are buying
Okay.
these shoes and just trying to resell them. So they're
So No, I was gonna say, are there certain spots you gotta go and stand in line, or is it a regular Foot Locker, or is there how do you get a jump on, like, when the release come out so you can get that stock?
It's not cut and dry. It's hard. So for us, we get back to your question, right? So we get our inventory from people just coming into the store. So everyone I just mentioned who may have found a pair at Foot Locker or or won a raffle online. So let's go to the beginning first. So the only way to get a pair of sneakers right now in general, if I'm let's say Charles, you want the next pair of Jordans that comes out this
Right.
Saturday, right? You'll
Mhm.
either have to enter a raffle online through
Okay.
one of the regular big box retail stores, Foot Locker, Champs. You will have to like enter a raffle online, and you still have to be selected to win that raffle in order to purchase the shoe.
Okay.
So you can't just check out. You have to enter a raffle first and be selected just to purchase that shoe.
Purchase the shoe. Okay.
Some stores do first come, first serve, where it's very limited, where people you just, you can line up and whoever's first gets the shoe. Even if that does happen though, a lot of the employees are already have taken them, or it's a crazy game. It's a crazy game right now. So even if you're fifth in line, that does not guarantee you're going to get that shoe. So that's just the market that we're up against. The average
Oh,
sneakerhead, the average connoisseur who wants something. They're competing against everyone in these online raffles, which is like literally winning a lottery, or they're trying to go line up to hopefully be close enough in line and get a pair. So with us
wow.
having with us having a retail storefront, so people who do just secure the pairs in hopes of reselling them, they just come to the store trying to sell. We
Oh,
also,
okay.
yep, and to throw another wrench in the whole thing, right? So the average connoisseur who's online trying to buy these sneakers, there's a such thing called bots now. You might have heard of them.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
So before a human could check out and even get a chance to buy one of these shoes, they're already sold out. People have bots that can check out faster than any human ever could. So there's really slim chances of getting an online release. So it's literally like hitting the lottery. So
Wow.
people who have those bots, or people who just luck up on a pair or win a raffle, they all come into the store to try to sell or trade with Fahrenheit. So whether
Wow.
that's,
Okay.
yep, or whether that's us luckily winning a raffle, we're trying every means just like everybody else to get these shoes. But we do have a storefront, so a lot of people are just coming to the store to try to sell or trade directly, which is huge for us because we don't have the time to be online all day, or
Right.
standing out in these stores to get these shoes.
So, okay, so that segues. So if they come to you, they win a raffle, they got bots or whatever they have to come with a rare release Jordan, they come to you. So what's the business relationship? What's a win-win for you and the seller?
Yep. So they have options when they come in at Fahrenheit, which it's up to what they want to do. They can sell, trade, or they can consign that sneaker. If they want to sell that sneaker, most likely they'll have a price in mind, right? And it's not always a good exchange. Sometimes they're going for the high reseller price. Let's say they bought these pair of dunks for $100. Sometimes they want 300. You
Okay.
know, and for us, we're trying to keep the prices low for our customers. That's why
Right.
we're here. We want to be affordable. We want to actually give the community access to these sneakers without ripping off an
Right.
arm or a leg to pay
Right.
for it. So that's
Right.
why when people come in with those ridiculous prices, we try to negotiate down and be realistic about it. So
Right.
that's just if they're selling, we'll negotiate. Hopefully, we come up with a fair price for it where they're just selling it for cash. Or they can choose to trade the sneaker where we'll appraise them. We'll say, okay, we maybe could sell this for $100, whatever. We'll give them appraisal, and they can use that as store credit to trade for something else in the store. Then
Okay.
lastly, their option is to consign, because we always have shelf space in the store. Stuff is rotating so fast. They can just bring it in. They can set the price, and then they'll actually get paid once the item sells in store. And we take 10% of whatever price they set. So that's not immediate, but it gives us a more time and more flexibility to, sell the
Okay.
shoe instead of, because we can't buy every shoe that comes into the store.
Right. Right.
A lot
Yeah.
of people, just come to consign one pair, or they may be saying, hey, I had all of these. I have 50 pair I'm looking to consign. They may drop off their whole collection to us at one time. So you never know from day to day what we're going to get in the store.
Okay. And then you get 10% off the sale for having it showcasing at your store.
Exactly.
Okay. So what in most cases are people more lean towards consignment or trying to sell it?
Yeah, so we have built over the last 2.5 years, right? We built a pretty good relationship with a lot of our consigners. So these are guys who we see once a week, and then stuff is just rotating. They either have bots or they're just, heavy into this is their livelihood, the resale, the sneaker game. So we
Wow,
build
wow.
relationships where we have guys that we see every week who are consigning, but for the most part, people are coming in just looking to sell, I would say, especially in times where the economy's low.
Right, right.
Most people just, trying to pay a bill really quickly or something like that. And they're just trying to sell a pair. So Fahrenheit does give them another option where if you really are in a pinch or something, you can potentially come and get some cash to pay a bill or whatever that may be.
Okay, okay. So you have a budget to buy a certain amount of sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I saw if I'm not mistaken, you were posting on Instagram. Isn't it like a new Jordan? It looked more like a dress, to me like a dressier shoe. Uh did you have I thought I saw you had one of those at your store.
Yeah. So you might be referring to like the 218 Jordan. It's like brown.
Yeah, they're brown. They look like, you can wear them to like a dress
Oh,
shoe,
yeah.
like to a wedding or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So definitely shout out to Roast Spit 218. So that was Roast Spit is like the owner of Burn Rubber,
Oh,
like
okay.
creator of Burn Rubber, and that's been around almost 15 years now. So that was like one of the first sneaker stores in the city of Detroit. Now they're in Royal Oak. So yeah, they're the OGs to the game. Shout out to Roast Spit once again. He's been a big inspiration to me. He's super cool. So
Okay.
they opened a new store, and after 15 years of doing this, and they finally got a collab with Jordan. So that's their
Oh.
sneaker that they were able to create and design and release. And of course, we had to have a pair of Fahrenheit.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, that's dope. Now I noticed when I showed the video and I went to your store, you also have new shoes that so you get an inventory of new shoes that's not traded, that's just the part of your stock. How does
Yep,
that work?
absolutely. So it's just depending on what the community supplies. We don't specify if it has to be new or used. It's just whatever you bring in. If you do bring in a used pair, we expect it to be, slightly worn. We're not
Okay.
taking anything that we don't think will resell. So we
Okay.
try to say if it could pass as new or is in good condition.
So you're not like a Foot Locker doing you just basically are exchange. So like okay, all right.
Yep. So we're not like wholesaling or like supplying. We're
Right,
really
right,
supplied by the community, whatever
right,
people
right.
bring
Okay.
in. So
How has the reception been for your storefront in the Avenue of Fashion?
it's been great. Like it's been crazier than I could have anticipated. Like even like we opened in the midst of the pandemic starting. Like we opened in March 13th. The next week we had to close, but that grand opening was still huge. Like, and people have been like really receptive of the business. We try to make them feel like family when they come in. And the big thing about Fahrenheit is the customer experience. You come in, you don't feel like you've ever been to a store like it, from the aesthetics to how we just operate the store. The customer experience is the priority. And like recently, we were just voted by Click on Detroit, or yeah, the 2022 vote for the best sneaker store in Detroit. So we
Okay,
voted the number one
congratulations.
sneaker store. So that's just shows like thank you. So to us, that's not us vote. That's the community. So we're doing something right. So we
Mhm.
just try to make sure that, once again, making these sneakers accessible. People know if they're getting super overcharged, or if it's just about the vibes we try to provide in
Yeah.
the store. It's just being genuine. It's already crazy enough to get these shoes. So we just try to bring love back to the game. And I think people really resonate with that.
Awesome. That's awesome. Um, we're gonna take a quick break and come right back. We're gonna talk about your store hours and how people can any announcements or upcoming programs you got. All right.
Cool.
Hey everyone, this is Charles with Detroit Metro Plug Podcast. If you are finding value in today's video, I invite you to subscribe, like, and comment. We would love to hear your feedback. And don't forget to click on that notification bell so you can be notified when we have upcoming episodes of difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship and community involvement. If you're interested in being a part of our Facebook networking community, I invite you to click on the link to be a part of that community. This is a place where you can network with like-minded people and a chance to share about your product or service. If you're interested in working with me directly on how you can share your story with video or with podcasting, you can email me direct at DetroitMetroPlug313@gmail.com. Thanks again, and let's get back to this interview.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and those who are watching us live, want to thank you for watching this podcast, episode 52. And if you're just joining us, we're here with Mr. Fred Paul II. He is the founder and creator of Fahrenheit 313, the hottest sneaker exchange store in the city of Detroit. So excited about that. So as we kind of wrap up things, tell us a little bit more about your store hours, how people can get directly in contact with you, your website, your social media handles, and all that.
Absolutely. So for up-to-date information on Fahrenheit 313, you can just go to our website, www.fahrenheit313.com, or you can check out our app. We just dropped the app. It's available on Android and iOS. You can just search F313 on the App Store. Make sure you download that Fire Exchange app. As far as the retail store, we're located at 20114 Livernois Ave, the Avenue of Fashion. We're open Wednesday to Sunday. Wednesday and Thursdays are 2 to 6, our shorter days. Friday to Sunday will be 12 to 6, our longer days. For updates on hours and everything, check out our website, the app, or Instagram as well at Fahrenheit313_.
Okay. And for those who are watching, if you watch the playback on our YouTube channel, we'll have that information in the description. So the store hours, the location, and the Instagram page and stuff like that. So people can have contact. You announced the app. So how does the app work? What is the purpose of the app?
Oh, yeah. So the app is just an extension of our store. We're trying to bring those same good vibes and build that same community we've been fortunate enough to build in the city. We're trying to do that online. So the Fire Exchange is the hottest online sneaker community. On the Fire Exchange, you can find release dates, sneaker news, which is updated daily. And if you're a reseller, you can create your own profile, list your inventory. You can join a marketplace where you can sell or trade on there, or you can just jump into the community, post your kicks of the day and chat. There's so much to do on the app, and every month we're rolling out new features and enhancements. So definitely make sure you check it out. It's only been open for about 2 weeks since we launched, and we already have almost 200 members. So
wow.
Check it out.
What's the name of the app again?
It's called Fire Exchange.
Fire Exchange.
Yep.
And that's on Apple and Android?
Yes, it is. You can search Fire Exchange or just search F313 on the App Store and it'll pull up.
Oh, okay. And is there a requirement to sign up or?
So right now it's free to download. Another huge feature on the app, which I didn't mention yet, is exclusive access. So if you want exclusive access to our inventory as it comes in first, like you get first dibs, and you also get to see what's in the back that's not on the store shelves. That's $15 a month, and $3 of that is donated back to the Detroit Public Schools Community District. Okay. Other than that, it's free to download, free to interact. But if you want exclusive access, it's $15 a month.
Okay. So folks who are watching this, you're into sneakers and want to learn about the business, definitely get that app on Apple phones and Androids. Fire Exchange. So that's dope. So I'm excited. Any other upcoming events or things you want to announce as we wrap up?
No, just that app. Check it out because what we're going to do is it's exclusive, right? So we're going to post private events and so much more on there coming up. So really, if you guys are listening, make sure you check that out. You're going to know so much there first before anyone else does. So it's going to be a lot of exciting things happening there. I'm not going to spoil too much, but make sure you check it out.
So this is an exclusive announcement on our podcast about the app that's 2 weeks and going. So that's exciting.
And then you know what? I'll also do this. If you're listening, I'll give you we'll give you 30 days of free exclusive access. So 30 days. Use the code F313 VIP 22 when you sign up, and that's 30 days of free exclusive access. Make sure you check it out.
Okay, that's dope. Okay, so in closing, just a few more questions. So what sets you guys apart as a sneaker exchange store. Is there any? I don't know if there's any other stores in Detroit. I think. Are you the only one, or is there?
There's a few more popping up. Like, I mean, now there's definitely more popping up. So like you're asking right now, we're always trying to differentiate ourselves. Like for one,
Right.
you know, building this online community, this app. No other sneaker stores are doing anything similar to that. And we
Right.
are always about the community. You know, we're doing our Street Corner Classic charity softball game. We're doing our
Right.
3-point shootout sponsored by the Pistons. So we're always making sure that our business is in the community, in the streets, giving back, doing events and things.
Talk a
that
little bit about the 3-point. What is it? The 3-1-3 basketball tournament, or what was that
Yeah.
again?
For sure. So yeah, there are a couple of things. So we try to do one of each or something in each sport, just to get people to get up, get active instead of, you know, being on their phones and stuff. So the summertime shootout 3-point contest was sponsored by the Detroit Pistons. Is every Juneteenth. We do it right next door to Fahrenheit 313 in a parking lot. We put up some rims and we have like an NBA style 3-point shootout. You can go up against a friend, or you're just going up against everybody in general. And as you make more shots, you win prizes, store credit, you win a Pistons basketball,
Wow.
so much more.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. And then I think you do a softball thing, right?
Yep, and the Street Corner Classic charity softball game. So this started in 2016, actually, before
Okay.
we had the store or anything. It's at Belle Isle every year. This past year was the 4th annual. We
Okay.
stopped a couple years during COVID, but it's huge. This year we had 4 teams. We create these teams: Detroit Players, Detroit Hustlers, Hitsville
Right.
Hitters,
That's
and the
dope.
Belle Isle Buffs.
Okay.
And if anyone from the city wants to play, or even anyone in general wants to play, they can sign up for whatever team they want to play for. And then we come
Okay.
out and play on Belle Isle. So this past year we added those 2 new teams. So it was like 2 games at once. It was crazy. You can see the
Wow.
footage on our Instagram page. It was a good highlight reel. It was so much fun though.
Yeah. What's the best way we in the community can be supportive of your store and your business?
Just pull up, stop in, you know, just come say hi. You know, everybody that visits it is like, you know, helps us feel like we're doing something right, you know, and a step in the right direction. So if you're on the Avenue of Fashion, just stop in and say what's up. You know, you don't have to shop, you don't have to, just come by and see what's going on. I'm sure there'll be something you like. So if you're in the area, or if you're not in the area, come to the Avenue of Fashion and just check us out.
All right. So I want to thank you for your time and being on this podcast. This podcast platform is about not only just bringing in unique Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement, but it's also, we like to celebrate your contributions, give you flowers while you are alive. And we definitely thank you for doing this unique business and seeing how it grew from a concept in college and what you're doing and the impact on the community, the things you're doing with the basketball shootout, the baseball game, and hiring people. When I went to the store, I saw, you know, people working there, and just everybody was friendly. And so I got to know next time. I don't even really wear sneakers when I playing a sport or working out, but I got to come to your store, look at your inventory,
Absolutely.
and see what you got. So I want to encourage everybody who's watching this podcast, especially if you're visiting the Detroit area, or if you live in the Detroit area, check out Fahrenheit 313 on Avenue of Fashion in Livernois. Check out their app if you're a sneaker enthusiast. Download the app. So Fred, thanks again. I appreciate you for being on the show.
Thank you, Charles. You are the plug, man. Detroit Metro plug. Thank you for having us. Everybody,
Yes.
make sure you stay tuned in.
Yes, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. So, for those who are watching, every week we bring in a different episode, and I want to encourage you, if you find value in what we're doing, please like and subscribe and share. Like and subscribe and share. We're going to close out with the video I showed at the beginning of Fred's store, Fahrenheit 313. So we're going to close out with that, and thanks for viewing.
See you, everybody. It's Freddie P. Checking in at Fahrenheit 313, Detroit's hottest sneaker exchange. And we outside, man. We just about to take a tour of the store and let y'all know what's going down on the Avenue of Fashion. Let's go. Once again, Fahrenheit is Detroit's hottest sneaker exchange. In the store, you can buy, sell, or trade kicks, pre-owned or new. So you come into the store, every shoe is tagged at the bottom. You see a white tag, that means the shoe is brand new.
You see a yellow tag, it's pre-owned, but still good condition. And the sizes you see out here is what we have in stock. Once again, we buy, sell, trade. So bring some of those cold pairs up here. You either get cash or store credit. Trade for what we have in our inventory as well. That shiny dot over there. Yeah, so that's what it is. Grand High 313. Buy, sell, trade. You can consign as well. Set some shoes on the shelf. Set the price. You get 10%. We take 10%.